I think it's harder to move on. That's something we've been talking about recently is I think like a lot of me and my friends don't feel ready because we lost those 2 years of high school.
Good day, Industrial Advisors listeners, and thank you for tuning in. If you have not subscribed, please do so by clicking subscribe wherever you podcast. Click the like button and hit the bell if you want notifications of when we put up new content. Leave us a comment about anything we discuss here today or general comments about the show. Now, let's get into it.
Welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. We have a 5-minute Friday today, and joining us today might be my favorite guest that we've ever had on this, Mahrin McGregor. Mahrin is a senior at Blanchette, the greatest high school in America, and Mahrin is all-world everything, if you ask me, inside and outside of the classroom. She's an amazing person, and our topic today is the college selection process and just what that looks like and her experience with that. So I know, Mahrin, you have been accepted to almost every single school that you've applied to, and they're really good schools. So first of all, welcome to this podcast, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. So excited.
Well, Mahrin, start us off with, you're a senior in high school, so you were definitely a COVID kid through high school. How has that been challenging applying for schools, or has it been?
I don't think it's been necessarily like more challenging. I think it's like harder to move on. That's something we've been talking about recently is I think like a lot of me and my friends don't feel ready because we lost those 2 years of high school. But I don't think that, at least just because where I'm at applying, COVID hasn't really affected anything I've done. I know they added a question to Common App about COVID, which was helpful. And I think, of course, like it affected our grades, and I know schools did it differently. But besides that, luckily, it has not played a huge role.
And how many colleges did you apply at?
14.
14.
Yes.
And you're down to your top 3. You want to walk through them?
Yes. So my number 1 right now is TCU. And then I would say USD and Santa Clara. So those are definitely my top 3 at the moment.
And what would you say is like the most challenging thing about trying to pick a college right now for you?
I think the worry of making the wrong choice per se, worrying that you're going to go somewhere and hate it or have to transfer, that's kind of my biggest fear at the moment. So you're just, because you never know until you get there. You can do the research, you can tour, but it's just like, oh, if I get there and I hate it, that's going to be awful. So that's my biggest fear at the moment for sure.
Yeah, I have to say something on that. So my opinion on that is, well, first of all, amazing that you have such good options to go to, right? And whatever one of those schools gets Mahrin McGregor is going to be really lucky to have you there.
For
and
sure.
You won't make the wrong decision because wherever you go, you're going to do awesome and you're going to have a great experience.
Yeah.
That's my take on that.
Thank you.
Do you have any advice as, for younger high school students that are getting ready to go through this process? Do you have any advice for them on when it comes to picking a college and just kind of some of the things that you've learned?
Yeah, I think I actually just got asked this question a few days ago. Overall, my advice is to start early, and I feel like everyone says that, but it makes a huge difference. I don't know what I would be doing if I hadn't written my essay earlier or started looking. I would honestly suggest starting your sophomore year, just making a list, generally thinking about what you want to write, your application. I think the biggest thing is you want to find where your community is, because I transferred high schools, as you guys know, from Kings to Blanchette, and the biggest success for me in that was just finding my right community. So it's different for everybody, but I think you want to look where your people are, not necessarily the prestige of the college or the location or where your friends are going, just like where you're going to be happiest with your people.
That's really, really good advice. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for joining us on this podcast. I'm going to be really excited to watch you continue to do great things. So good job.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks.